Without wasting your time, we are going to share top 5 best Fitbit smartwatch. The product links are in the description and in first comment. The number 5 on the list is Fitbit Inspire Health. Fitbit Inspire Health, easy to use, comfortable to wear and jam-packed with health tracking features. The Fitbit Charge 5 is our favorite fitness tracker. It's small enough to satisfy those who prefer the size of a fitness tracker over a smartwatch, but has a screen large enough to comfortably swipe through your stats on the device. With the Charge 5, you get a plethora of fitness tracking features like heart rate monitoring, summarized sleep data, exercise statistics, and stress tracking, all at your fingertips, which makes it a great pick for those who prefer looking at their information on their wrist instead of opening up an app. The Charge 5 is slightly smaller than its predecessor and our former top pick Charge 4. It's thinner according to Fitbit and is comfortable to wear both while lounging and exercising. Its screen is twice as bright as the Charge 4's and has an always-on display option, which makes it easy to read when you're outside in the sun. It's easy to scroll through and responsive to touch, even in the middle of a sweaty workout. The built-in GPS is easy to use thanks to the tracker's exercise shortcuts. To record a walking, running, or cycling workout, swipe on the home screen to the Exercise tab, select which activity you want to complete, and tap the Start button if you have your phone with you. That takes only seconds to connect, and we didn't experience any connectivity issues during the testing process. If you don't have your phone, that takes longer to connect, about seconds. However, you don't need to wait around for the before taking off. We found the Charge 5 to accurately estimate where an activity began and adjust the distance traveled while exercising. You can view information such as your average pace, distance traveled, calories burned, active zone minutes, and more on your tracker. You can also keep tabs on your heart rate throughout your workout by turning on the heart rate zone alerts. I used these notifications during a cycling class and found they helped me push myself into the next heart rate zone during intense periods and gauge when my heart rate finally settled during recovery periods. That said, wrist heart rate will never be as accurate as the heart rate recorded from a chest strap, so if you must track your pulse for medical reasons, it's best not to rely on the Charge. The number 4 on the list is Fitbit Luxe Fitness and Wellness. Fitbit Luxe Fitness and Wellness. While exercising, you can view information such as your average pace, distance traveled, calories burned, active zone minutes, and more on your tracker. You can also keep tabs on your heart rate throughout your workout by turning on the heart rate zone alerts. I used these notifications during a HIIT cycling class and found they helped me push myself into the next heart rate zone during intense periods and gauge when my heart rate finally settled during recovery periods. That said, wrist heart rate will never be as accurate as the heart rate recorded from a chest strap, so if you must track your pulse for medical reasons, it's best not to rely on the Charge 5. In the Fitbit app, you can later view your route as well as your heart rate and pace on the map, so you can see where they increased and decreased along your run, walk, or bike ride. For example, stretches of your route where your heart rate was in a lower zone are marked in yellow, but sections where your heart rate increased are marked in orange and red accordingly. We found Fitbit sleep tracking to be accurate, and it comes with some extra bells and whistles users might find interesting. Aside from monitoring the sleep stages, awake, light, deep, and REM, the Charge 5 keeps tabs on your heart rate, restlessness, and estimated oxygen variation, the changes in your blood oxygen saturation. Though this isn't a diagnostic tool, frequent spikes in oxygen variation could indicate breathing disturbances during your sleep you may want to talk to a doctor about. The number 3 on the list is Fitbit Charge. Fitbit Charge. I've owned several Apple Watches, the Series 5 as well. The extra features are hardly desirable since it requires your phone to be on you calling, TXT, etc. unless you want to be exposed to even more radiation with a cellular model. Even more money. This fitness tracker is comfortable, has aftermarket straps, bands, and works across platforms. On an expendable device, including Apple Watch, the price is much better and is just as accurate. I'm very glad Fitbit came out with the Charge 4 and built off their Charge 3 design. Sound familiar? Apple proven design with GPS abilities. Good call on Fitbit's behalf. All my devices are Apple, $3K laptop, $1K plus phone, iPads, iPods, etc., except my Charge 4. Fitbit is focused on those wanting to target on their overall fitness health. Apple Watch is not the most comfortable, while not bad. Poor battery life and slightly entertaining, great. Fitbit for daily practical use. I don't like jewelry and this is lightweight and hardly noticeable. Apple, well, a big fan, just not of an overpriced watch since both of these devices are expendable. I do like how the Fitbit uses Corning Gorilla Glass. It could be brighter in direct sunlight, but it's not a huge bother for me. Screen is difficult to see in bright lighting. Outside, I purchased this when my Charge 2 started having issues tracking my heart rate during cardio peak exercise and no longer showed my stats live in the phone app. I had to track by looking at the watch each time or forcing a sync. I had a few issues getting the new one to work well with my heart rate too, but once I figured it out, it worked well. I'll go into what worked and what didn't at the end of my review, because without the heart rate feature I would rate this a 2, but with it, I love the thing and give it a 5. I have not used this feature and have no interest in it. I tend to watch streaming shows during my workouts because it's 8,000 degrees outside most days in Texas and I would rather be inside with the AC. I am very excited about this feature, but with the current COVID situation I haven't gotten to test it out yet. I like the idea of being able to track my swims as well as my runs though and can hardly wait to try it out. That said, I have worn it in the shower a few times because I forgot to take it off and it survived that with no issues. The number 2 on the list is Fitbit Versa. Fitbit Versa. Meet Fitbit Versa 3, the smartwatch with everything you need to just go. Track your pace and distance and leave your phone at home with built-in GPS. You can also get call, text and app notifications, use Google Assistant or Amazon Alexa built-in, control Spotify, and use the built-in mic and speaker to take Bluetooth calls hands-free when your phone is nearby, plus with active zone minutes, 20+ exercise modes, and 6+ day battery with 12-minute fast charging, you've got all the motivation you need to reach your health and fitness goals. Fitbit is part of the Google family. Requires use of Fitbit app with compatible iPhone or Android devices. A Google account will be required. From the very start of my husband purchasing this Fitbit smartwatch fitness tracker from Amazon for my birthday, he ended up giving it to me early. I've had problems with the molded band. After a week or so, I noticed a rash developing under the band all the way around my wrist. I tried putting tissue under the band, etc. to keep the band from coming into contact with my skin. After a week of frustration with this method not working, I realized I might be allergic to the band. So I started looking for a hypoallergenic band. I found a pretty faux pink leather band and ordered it also from Amazon. My husband put the new band on. At first it seemed to take care of my skin issue, but within 30 minutes, one side of the band fell out of the holder. My husband tried to reattach the band without success. I now decided I needed to go to another big box store and purchase a leather band, thinking the pink faux band was inferior. Within 30 minutes of the store staff member installing it for me, this one fell off, 2 became unattached. I returned to the store right away and the clerk told me that my particular Fitbit smartwatch tracker was of inferior quality and that I should return it to my original store of purchase. The number 1 on the list is Fitbit Charge 5. Fitbit Charge 5, the daily readiness score also became available. It's only available for premium subscribers. It takes 4 days before it starts functioning and a couple weeks to tune. Overall, I'd say this is not terribly useful. If you work out on a consistent basis and get a decent amount of sleep, then it's always a great day to work out. That is, you'll remain in the good to excellent range, 30 and above. For reference, I typically work out 4 to 5 days week, spending 30 to 40 min on cardio and 30 to 40 min on weights, which ends up being 110 to 160 zone minutes on those days when combined with whatever other zone minutes I rack up when not working out. But if you take a week off or so and return to working out, then you may dip below 30 into the low score range where it says you should prioritize recovery. I also noticed that if you forget to wear your Fitbit to bed, it can throw off your score. It sent my score plummeting for no good reason otherwise. Also, perhaps not surprisingly, the readiness score seems to be primarily reflective of your cardio workout. It will classify my activity as light on some days when I spend a fair amount of time on weight training that doesn't really sustain an elevated heart rate and less on cardio. There's no longer a home button on the side of the display to return or access additional menus. This took a little time to adjust to, but I'm generally okay with it, especially since the touchscreen is noticeably more responsive than the Charge 3. Now, you must swipe right to return to the prior screen, and you can also double tap in most cases to return to the home screen, though the double tap can be finicky. Would I prefer to have a home button again? Yes. Now, the sides of the device used for the ETA sensor and ECG monitor.